Ladies and gentlemen, to this video where I'm going to show you step by step on how to draw an eye like this in Procreate on the iPad. Let's get started. All right, here's what we're going to draw today, hopefully in a short session, and you can do this too in just under 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we'll start with a new canvas. I'm going to create a custom because this is what I use for my canvas on my wall. You can create any size. If you go up to the wrench, let's turn on drawing guide. Inside the drawing guide, we're going to leave it at 134 pixels. So if you're following along, you can kind of get a rough idea of what the size is going to be. I'm going to use 3 squares. So first thing I'll do is draw a circle. If you hold it like this and tap, you'll get a perfect circle. Then we can adjust the size here. And that's going to be roughly our eyeball. We'll move it toward the center. Next thing we'll do is roughly estimate where the tear duct's going to be. So here's the center of the eye. It's going to be roughly down here at the bottom of this square. If you're doing this on paper and pencil, that's about 7.5 degrees if you're using a protractor. So I'll just do a little mark right there. Okay, so now let's create a new layer because we're going to erase all that and we're going to hide it. So we'll start here with just a little round shape for the tear duct. And this part of the top of the eye is going to be kind of flat. And then also the bottom of the eye is going to be a little bit flat here. So those are kind of our connecting points and then halfway in between. So let's kind of connect those. And then this kind of goes up and then back down a little bit. I can already see I need to bring this contour up. Roughly about like that is our eyelid. So our eyelids, as you can see, is covering most of our eye. So we'll go ahead and hide that. We're done with this shape. Now we can work on the iris, which is also a circle, and it's going to be just a bit bigger than this one box here. So it'll come down to the bottom and it will overlap the eyelid about like this. So again, you can hold, touch, and resize if you needed. Go here to edit shape, move it around a bit. Yeah, we'll go with about like that right there. And then we can get rid of that line. All right, let's go ahead and do the center portion of the iris, or the pupil. Let's do the pupil. Drawing a circle there in the middle. And we are going to move it around just a little bit. It's got to be the center of the eye, not the center of the eyelid. So roughly right there. I'll go ahead and zoom in, and now we can start our shading. So we're going to shade in the iris here. And we can also start our texture. So one thing I like to do is just draw. By the way, I'm using the 6B pencil, and right now I have it at roughly 20%. So if we draw the lines outward from the center, this gives our texture. And then the next thing we can do is draw. I'm going to turn down my shading a little bit. So this is going to be medium shade. And then we'll just connect these dots with little lines, kind of like a spider web in a sense. And then it'll kind of be a medium shade, mid-tone between the pupil and that dark tone. And if you did this in color, it may even be a different color. So roughly like that. All right, let's zoom back out here. Next thing I'll do is the eyelid. And this is just above the eye, and it'll follow the similar contour of the eye. Sometimes you have little wrinkles that come down on the edges. Same thing, we can do little texture wrinkles here on the bottom eyelid. And also on the bottom eyelid, we're gonna see a little part of the eyelid here. So I'm gonna create that portion. Part now. Okay, now we're gonna go on to the eyelashes, which is a little bit, it's probably one of the more difficult parts. So with the eyelashes, you just want to draw dark straight lines, and you kind of want to curve them kind of like a swoosh or a check mark or a J. They don't want to be straight. So we'll start on the outside and we'll do kind of like this. And you'll actually want to, if you're looking straight on, they're going to curve down a little bit. And then as you get to the center, they're going to curve up. So don't be afraid to take your time with these. And then as you get through there, you can kind of connect these down here. There's going to be a lot more on the top. And they're going to be thicker and longer. You can also do a method where you connect some of these, will connect kind of a triangle, so to speak, the shorter ones. And then we'll go down the bottom, same kind of method, but they're going to be less of them. Connect. And they're usually attached at the bottom of that eyelid there. All right, let's go on to the next portion where we're gonna start shading. And what we'll first do is we're gonna have the light source coming down from the top right. So right on the cornea here, we're gonna draw a reflection. I'm gonna size my brush down a little bit so I get more precision here. And this could be in many shapes. I'm just going to choose kind of a square shape that's reflected. And this could go anywhere. It could go on this side, it could go over the pupil. We're just going to draw it right over the iris, just about like that. And then what we can do is, some of these have reflections. So we can zoom in, and it's going to have little reflections of the eyelashes. So I'll add those in there. And then also, since the light is coming this direction, we're going to have a little bit of shading on this corner of the eye, a little bit of shading on this corner of the eye, and also some shading here on this corner of the eye, where the brow is going to cover some of the light there. All right, we're almost done. Last part is the eyebrow. And this has different features for men and women, so depending on what you're going for. Generally, you'll start right here above here, and you'll follow the same shape, and it could have different shapes. I'm just gonna trace it out here, so we'll go up and then we'll contour out. And if you imagine the nose is down here, kind of angle it up 45 degrees and stop right about there. And then just start making your marks, your lines. Now they'll go up and they'll be longer. Then as you work your way and you turn the corner here, they'll start to go out. So we'll just work our way back and forth. And they'll get longer on the center. And then shorter on the outside. There we go. That's going to do it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, leave those in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy drawing!